Hey, what's up guys? This is Nick, and this is the HackerRank Java list problem, and I'm going to get right to the point. So here's the instructions here, and all that's saying, guys, is it's going to ask you for one array, this array here, and this top number is how many elements are in this array right here. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements there. This second number that it's asking you for is the query number, aka the number of questions it's going to ask you number. And it's going to first ask you what command you want to do. So you see here, insert is the command, and this right here is it's inserting this number 23 at array index 5 in this array up here. And as I said, it's going to be two questions. So the second question's here. The command on this one is delete, and this is saying delete whatever element whatever element is at index 0. So it's going to delete this 12, producing this output array right here. So I went ahead and wrote the code out for y'all guys. So here it is. So here it's just gonna scanner equals new scanner. It's gonna scan for a number right here. That's gonna be for the size of the array. That's gonna be that 5 that I showed you. And right here we made something called an array list. I guess particularly an integer array list, which is really similar to an array but slightly different. It's a lot more flexible than a standard array, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. So right here, this for loop is adding the numbers to the array. It's filling the array up, and the way you do that, it's filling this list up. And the way you do that is with this add function here. So right, it's going to be mylist.add, and then whatever number you want to add to it right there. So it's a little different than a standard array. Here in this next line, this is the number of queries that you're gonna do on it, and this is that 2 this is the 2 that HackerRank has that I was telling you about in that sample input. So this is the 2, so you're just gonna ask it for an integer there. Here's a for loop here. This for loop's gonna cycle through the number of queries, in this case 2. So it's going to ask for a string, so of course you're going to say scan.next. It's going to ask for a string. I named it user input. So here, this is how you ask. This is how you ask if it's a certain kind of string. So if the user inputs insert, it's going to say you use this dot equals function here, and it's going to compare to that string here, whatever word you got there. And once you do that, it's going to ask you for 2 numbers here, 2 integers here. This first integer is going to be the index of the list. And the second integer is the actual number that you want to put in the list. So again, this x is the index spot, and the y is the actual number. So you're going to use this add function again because we're dealing with lists and not standard arrays, and you're going to add that to it, right? Otherwise, else, aka when I type in delete, it's going to take that index number and remove it from the list, like I told you a little while ago. It's going to use this remove function to remove it from the list. So once that cycles through all the queries, once it cycles through both queries, you're going to come down here. You can go ahead and close the scanner because we're done with that. And here, you're setting your list using this .toArray function to set it to an actual array. Now dealing with this, if you haven't seen this object operator before, that I'm not really sure how that exactly works. All I can tell y'all guys is that I tried this right here, this more standard way of writing an array, and tried setting that to my list.to array, and it didn't work. So don't waste your time trying to do that. So you do have to do this object and then set the array there. So yeah. And okay, so moving on, this for loop here is going to be printing out every element in your newly created array, and we can call it an array now because it is in fact indeed an array, and you're just printing out a sub I, and then putting a space and putting a space after it to make the output just nice and neat to where a human can read it. And that's pretty much this code broken down step by step. Let me go ahead and throw it in HackerRank for y'all guys. I'll go ahead and do a copy and paste. Make sure it passes all the test cases. And we're in, and we're all good. So that's it. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.